Hello there.
Well, hello, the troopers, and welcome back to General Economics Bunker. Thank you so much for joining us here on another fine Wednesday night. Ooh, lordy, we got a show tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about tonight, guys. Been looking forward to it all week. But first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Second, I hope that the first half of your week has been going amazing. All right. I am literally 1 week away from leaving for Japan, and I am this close to an anxiety attack pretty much every day. But fun times. We're here. We have a great show for you guys tonight. But first of all, let me catch up here with my partner in crime, Mike. What is going on, brother? How you doing?
How are we doing? Are you ready for the trip of fun or the trip of terror?
Oh, dude, I have a feeling as long as we're somewhere in the middle of those two, we should be
You're gonna
okay.
fine. You'll be
Like
fine.
that. Yeah. Actually, one of my coworkers just came back. He went almost 3 weeks out there. He just came back on
Wow.
Monday, and so I need to catch up with him. I've been trying to catch him in the office and just get the
The,
lowdown from
the
him.
do's and don'ts of
Yeah,
what to do over
exactly.
there. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, man, it's gonna be obviously it's gonna be a great trip, but there's also I feel like an insurmountable amount of stuff to get ready. But I'm slowly progressing to the acceptance that I'm just not gonna get every single thing done. But it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So speaking of great, we got an amazing guest today. Um, you know how we talk about like the people that are literally the fabric of the shows and movies and stuff that we love, and sometimes they're the connective tissue that we don't always put a name immediately when we see them on screen, but your brain is like, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I've seen this person, and not just once or twice. Like I'm pretty sure he's been in several of the things that I like. um yeah, this man kind of blows all of that out of the water because his IMDb is as tall as I am.
It's a
And it
scroller.
is,
I'm trying
yeah,
to
dude,
make sure I
seriously,
got
yeah, I
everything. I'm like,
could not
how
fit it
much
in a
more does he
single.
got?
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely an impressive body of work, and he's been kind enough to come in here into the bunker today to chat with us, to chat with you, Bunker Bunch. And so we are pretty excited. So without further ado, because we do have quite a bit to talk to him about, we are going to bring on to the stage here into the bunker our friend Don Burgess. What is going on, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Hi. Hello there.
Love it,
Hey,
love
there
it.
we go.
Here, let me let's do this. There you go. That seems
Oh my
more
gosh, I'm
fitting.
so big.
Perfect. I love it. Actually, now that I see it, I love the collection in the background. I didn't catch that.
Yes, this is. I collect physical media.
Oh,
I'm a big
beautiful.
film and TV guy. Here's my Skywalker
Yes.
4K collection, and then behind that, it's its own little Star Wars alcove. So I've got
Beautiful.
Rogue One and Andor and Boba Fett and Mandalorian all sort of tucked away back there behind that little
So
Star
not
Wars
just
box
in
set.
the show, but
I was gonna
also
say.
a fan and collector.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan first. I got my Lord of the Rings box set up
Oh,
here.
beautiful.
Up here I
Nice.
got 24 and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Doctor
No,
Who,
stop.
and I'm uh I'm a bit of a nerd. I collect
One
Transformers
of us.
figures
One
as
of
well.
us.
I got my Star Trek Voyager model over there. I got my Dungeons
Ooh.
and Dragons animated alcove over there. A whole lot of alien stuff.
Really?
Film aliens, not just random alien stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a fan first.
That's
Awesome.
awesome, man. That's great to see, great to know. And we'll definitely talk about it, but it's gotta be so cool, right? To, be a fan and then get to actually make this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so much of the stuff that I watched growing up was the impetus to me wanting to move to Los Angeles. I grew up on X-Files and Twin Peaks and Star Trek
Oh,
and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all this stuff, and the original Star Wars films, and um, just Yeah, I love film and television. That's my jam. It's my work, it's my business, it's my pleasure. It's all encompassing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you actually just answered my first question, which I was going to ask was, how did you sort of get, how did you decide, right? Or how did you get started, or trying to break into the business, right? But it seems that you've been a fan, I'm assuming from a young age.
Yeah. I when I was in high school, I hadn't planned to be an actor. I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Okay.
Um, and then I started going to drama club, and I fell in love. I just really fell in, like, it sort of ignited something in me.
Hmm.
Uh, and it really stuck, and it still sticks to this day. I love what I do. I'm so fortunate to love the work and the profession that I'm in, whether that's writing or acting. Um, I love storytelling. I love stories. And then I used to race home from high school to try and catch Star Trek Next Generation.
Nice.
It was on at 5 o'clock, and I sort of race home and make sure I could catch that on BBC Two. Um, and then, yeah, all of those shows were sort of the impetus of wanting to come and work in LA. And so I went through drama school for 3 years in London, and pretty much as soon as I graduated, I put the wheels in motion
Hmm.
into getting an O1 visa, and I came out and I did a couple of research trips about where I'd maybe want to live, and took some classes, and then, yeah, moved out here November 2007. And yeah, I've been really fortunate to work on sort of the genre shows that I would have loved growing up.
Absolutely.
And getting to do Star Trek, getting to do Star Wars, getting to do Doctor Who, getting to do all these things that I was a genuine fan of
Right.
growing up is, I mean, yeah. I still got my check-off list to be like, I want to do
A
something in
few
the
more to
Lord of the
go.
Rings
Yeah, I
universe.
was gonna say, I
I
don't think
want to
there's
do
many
something.
fandoms that you got left.
Oh, I'll find some. I'll find some. I just oh my gosh, a couple of nights ago, I just binged all 8 episodes of Paradise in one
Okay.
sitting on Hulu, and now I'm like, oh my God, I love it. I want to be on it. So there's new things all the time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Man, that is crazy, to go, like I said, to go from a fan to somebody that actually works on this stuff, and you kind of just, you worked on so you were very focused, right, on what your goal was. Once you
Mhm.
decided, you're like, you know what, I do want to do this. And again, the it speaks to your hard work, it speaks to your talent, and that I know some people might call it lucky. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's hard work and dedication, that you actually made it into the shows, like you said, that you would have loved, right, to watch as a.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty determined. When they announced that Doctor Who was coming back,
Yeah.
at the time, I wrote a letter to the casting director, Andy Pryor. And I was like, oh my gosh, Sylvester McCoy and Ace were my doctor and companion.
Nice.
I grew up on this, and I want to do it. And then when they announced that Patrick Stewart was coming back and they were going to do Picard,
Oh
again,
God.
I got on the phone to my manager and was like, Star Trek is coming back. Um, and then I knew the casting director already, Liz Dean, and her associate Julie Knapp, and I wrote a handwritten letter to them, and I dropped it off at the office, and it wasn't anything made up. It was like, oh my gosh, I would race home from high school and I would watch this show, and they very kindly brought me in. I had a terrible audition. I left thinking that I would never audition for Star Trek again ever in my life. And then I booked it, and
Yeah.
that's the way it goes sometimes. I guess we psychologically count ourselves out if we're like,
Oh,
oh
absolutely.
no, I did
Yep.
a terrible job. Um, yeah, very very fortunate, and but you're right. I am pretty determined. If there's something that I'm like, oh, how do we find a way into this now?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So yeah, I have no doubt that we're gonna see you in Lord of the Rings, then
yeah,
Oh
that's
fairly
yeah.
the
soon.
spirit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um,
Which,
And
by the way, I'm a massive fan. So once that happens, not if, once that
Yeah.
happens,
Once it happens.
we'll have you back here and we'll go, deep dive into that too.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. But let me say hi to the chat here. Thank you, Bunker Bunch, for always joining us. And again, if you guys have some questions for our amazing guest tonight, don't let me hog all the questions, right? I got plenty of questions, but I'm just saying,
I've got some questions too.
exactly.
From
So
Instagram,
you
I got
guys,
some
we're loaded.
questions.
yeah, exactly.
We're loaded.
Okay, so we got Mike pulling double duty saying hello, hello, let's go. We got the brother Lorian in the house. What's going on, brother? Thanks so much for joining us. We got Rocks Havoc Cow saying woo, yes, sir. We got Nilda Appetite for Collectibles in the house saying hello there. General Kenobi says Rocks. Action Joe Fix saying hello, everyone. We got our good friend Joe Jar Jar Jargon saying hello there. What's
Hey.
going on, Joe? I hope that you are on the mend, brother. Hope you're feeling better. We got the Rushmore Show in the house saying, hey, General Kenobi fam. Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you so much. Action Joe Fix says, the countdown has begun. Dude, the countdown was on since like last year. I'm still freaking out. Ultra in the house saying, what up, General Kenobi, Darth Vader, Nilda, and everyone in the chat. What up, Mike? Sex Action Joe Fix. Rushmore saying, hey, Mike. Jar Jar saying, damn, you're going to celebration. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am. And again, anxiety. The anxiety of yeah, exactly. Martha saying hi, Luis saying hola, General Kenobi. We got Brian in the house saying buenas noches, amigos, buenas noches, hermano. Ultra saying his recent pickups for the AEW, sorry, CM Punk. True fan, says brother Larry. Yeah, man, he's one of us.
True
He's
fan.
one
One
of
of
us.
us.
Yeah, such a big fan that he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make this stuff. Rushmore saying hello, actually Joe Fix. We got the Countdown City Geeks in the house saying what a flex, dude. Right? I mean, one, that's quite the collection. Two, it's quite the collection of shows that he's worked on, which is amazing. Rushmore, how's it going, brother? Says that's the dream. Says brother learning, absolutely, man. And it goes to show you, right? Determination, focus, hard work. We'll get you there for sure. Bro says season 3 of Picard was incredible, amazing fan service. Nice, man. We got Sexy Flexi in the house saying, "What's up, Bunker Bunch? Me, General, and Magic Mike. What's going on, Elijah? Appreciate you joining, man." We got Duback Deliveries. Hey, man, what's going on? Adrian, I heard yesterday you were switching to Battlestar Galactica. Well, I will say this. I actually do love Battlestar Galactica. Yes, I'm a big fan of Battlestar Galactica. So I saw Eben. He posted his replica blaster from the original TV show. That thing is beautiful, man. I don't see enough, replicas for the OG Battlestar Galactica, or even for the reboot. Now that I think about it, there's not that much, merch out there. Ultra says Flex and Dad Vader. Mike saying sup, y'all. So thank you once again, everybody, for joining us. If you guys have some questions, please put them here in the chat. Also, guys, before I forget, all of Dom's links are already in the description of this video. So just expand the description. You can check out his IMDb. You can check out his Instagram. So make sure that you give him a follow there as well. But okay, so which fandom would you say you kind of got into first?
Oh, gosh. Me as a fan?
Right.
Yep.
Oh, boy. I mean, going way back, I loved Transformers growing up.
Nice.
So I had like Transformers wallpaper, Transformers bedspread. And now I went to Transformers Con a couple of weeks ago at Burbank Marriott Convention Center. I go every year. I'm friends with a few of the artists that work on the comic books from the IDW run. So probably like way early, I was big on Transformers, big on Thundercats, big on a show called The Mysterious Cities of Gold, which no one has heard of. But
interesting.
oh man, I love that show. And then as like I said, as I got older, X-Files and Buffy and Star Trek. Like I was, I guess, more of a TV guy than a film guy. But I love films. I love films growing up. If we're talking films, my dad would take us to the video rental store
Right.
every other Friday night, and I would just switch out between Gremlins and Transformers the movie. So they
Oh.
were the only two films that I watched
So what you're
ad
saying
nauseum
is
for years.
you would like to torture yourself with Transformers the movie, because
I
oh my
love
lord,
that's a
that
comfort film.
no, I was gonna say that. I mean, that death scene still gets to me.
It
Like,
haunts
oh
me.
my lord.
Yeah,
The first
it's
time I saw it, I was like, this is not for real, right? Like they made a mistake.
they
He's
wouldn't,
coming
they
back,
couldn't,
right?
but
And
they
then he
did.
doesn't, and I'm like, whoa, like that destroyed my
Yeah,
childhood for a little bit. Then they released,
yeah.
the cut where they literally. Do you remember that they literally had to put Optimus Prime will
Optimus Prime
return
will
Will
return.
return.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
to try
yeah.
to dampen the trauma, but I was like, I don't know, man. The damage is done.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, all those shows, and now oh, you better believe I put in the lead work. Once they announced that Buffy the Vampire Slayer was coming back, I was like, all right, here
of
we go.
course,
Coming back. What do we gotta do? I'll be
of
a
course.
gravestone in the background. Okay. Um, yeah, I love it. I remember at drama school one time we had this big theater director coming in, and I love theater. I love live theater. But he came in, and he asked everyone from my year, like, hey, what's the most impressive thing that you've seen this year? And at the time I'd just seen Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, and I was like, oh my
Oh my
gosh,
lord, yeah.
Lord of the Rings is my favorite thing that I've seen. And after that guy left, I got told off by the principal of my drama school. I got pulled into the office. Was like,
Wow.
if anyone asks you what your favorite thing is, you don't tell them it's Lord of the Rings. And like, why not? If you love something,
Exactly.
oh my gosh, get out of town.
Plus, I mean,
Mhm.
let's be honest, those movies, first of all, they still hold very nicely today, 20 plus years later, right? First of all, just
Yeah.
throwing that out. But for the time, oh my lord, like they were, nobody had done anything like that. The amount
It
of
was,
Yeah.
detail put into those
yeah.
shots,
It's
the,
incredible.
you
And
know, the
I when the DVDs first came out and they had those wonderful box sets,
yeah,
I would watch the film, and then I would rewatch the film with the director's commentary, and then
yes,
I would
I remember
rewatch
doing
the
that.
film with the cast commentary, and I would rewatch the film with the production commentary. And it was like going to a film school, learning
Yes.
everything that they did. It's incredible.
Yeah, very much so. And I remember somebody was telling me about this more recently. So last year, I had I guess, the privilege of actually watching all three extended versions in theaters at different
Yes.
events,
Uh-huh.
right? But I managed to. So I missed the first one. I missed Lord Fellowship of the Ring in
Uh-huh.
theater. I didn't know about it, so I missed it. But a friend of ours here in town actually rented out a theater for his birthday, and he showed
Mm.
it at the theater, the extended version. So I caught
Uh-huh.
up with that one. Then I was on the hook, obviously. So I paid attention, and I did not miss the Two Towers and then Return of the King, right?
Yeah.
So it was incredible. I mean, to see them in theaters, just absolutely love them. But somebody at the time, I forget who it was, made the comment. It's like, "Oh, that's a cool drone shot." I'm like, "No, it's not. There were
No.
no drones. Like,
Yeah.
or okay, fine, there were
Yes.
drones, but not for filming, right? Like
Not
that.
for the
That's
public.
no,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, that's not a thing, dude. This is 20 plus years ago, like almost 25 years ago. Um, I'm like, no, they got super creative. It was a ton of work. Um,
Yeah.
the animators, right, for the CGI, of the battles, like they had, warehouses dedicated for them rendering this
Yep.
stuff. And
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
man, like the
Even the
resources.
wardrobe people,
The
they lost
wardrobe.
the fingerprints on
Yes.
the
Yep.
on their hands from doing so many
All
Yep.
the work.
little hoops of armor. Just
I
Yeah.
was gonna tie that to your work there. So as an actor, the practical effect of wearing a suit or a costume that
Mhm.
makes you feel a part of the universe, because we see it today, like in some of the Marvel films, like they're wearing the motion capture suit, so it's
Yeah,
all going to
yeah.
be CGI'd onto them. So to you, do you feel like you're put more into the character's like train of thought mindset when you're suited up, because you've done quite a bit of work where
Right.
you put on the makeup, you put on
Mhm.
all the gear. So is that something that helps you get into the acting?
It's different. I think it's different each time. I've done special effects makeup work on Star Wars and Star Trek and Rebel Moon and Magicians, and depending on what the prosthetic is, can inform how you move. If it sits heavy on your neck, depending on if it's a silicone mold or a foam mold. Foam tends to be more lightweight, but if you sweat, it sort of absorbs all that liquid, and so then it becomes heavier as the day goes on. If it's silicone, it doesn't absorb the liquid, but then the sort of sweat gathers and sort of just drips down your back the whole day. And then, for Skeleton Crew in particular, the wardrobe was really heavy, and the blasters and the belts and the buckles and the boots, and that costume in particular was sort of made in piecemeal. So it was a lot of like, here's an elbow strap, and here's the shoulder pad, which goes on independently, and the vest, and this. The belt took 3 people to get on because it was sort of 6 separate pieces that sort of you would have to wrap the top belt around, and then you would hook on all these little appendages to hold on to the lower belt, and then the holster, which then had a separate thing that would go around the leg, and then there were separate knee pads, and the boots had their own little separate things. So and it was heavy, so it was kind of hard to move. So that informs your movement in that way. And then the motion capture work that I've done, I worked on a video game that's coming out this summer called Mind's Eye. Is also really fun and really liberating, because you're just in an empty space with sort of cardboard cutouts for like, hey, this is your computer screen, and hey, this is your weapon, and hey, this is and so then you're sort of living in a world of make-believe, and it's easy to get back into sort of the black box theater mentality, where it's just you on a black stage and in a black t-shirt, and you sort of take the audience along for a ride. So I enjoy both processes. I love exploring different things. I don't get stuck into one method of training or one way of preparing. Each job is so different, and each set is so different, and so I'm always very excited to sort of play and explore and see how things roll around, I guess.
Exactly.
So you're like a Swiss Army knife. You got to be ready for
you said it
anything
much
when you walk in.
than I did. Yes, I'm a weapon. I'm a living weapon.
There you go. So this is what he's talking about, guys. In case you don't remember the outfit, right, on Skeleton Crew, it was pretty involved, like you were mentioning, right?
Yeah.
Let alone the makeup, all of the props. Obviously, they're all real. So I can definitely see how it would definitely take some work to get it all right.
And it takes this prosthetic that they did was a 5-hour process.
Yikes.
I went in for an initial prosthetic test, and they were going to have a whole neck piece, so there was sort of hair coming out of the neck piece as well, and they ended up losing that when they realized that the costume was going to have sort of a collar, and so it was going to rub all of the latex and the makeup off the neck. So they lost that, but it was still a 5-hour process. I can't remember, because it looks like it's just one side, but it is a full facial prosthetic. And I think the nose overlapped on one side, and then the forehead, and that's a wig piece that goes on. And then the teeth, and then there's a sort of a milky contact lens in there as well. So I only have vision out of one eye. In there.
That's incredible.
But yeah, it's so fun, and there's like scars and tattoos and whatnot. But it's all so fun. I love it so much. What a treat! And this was Star Wars was the first time that I'd been on the volume stage as well.
Yeah.
With those sort of big, 360 LCD screens, and they would change the environments and just, and I'm like,
I was gonna say. Yeah. I would mess up so many takes. I'm like, oh, did you guys see that? Like,
you're just watching the screen. Look at the ship. Look at the TIE fighter.
Did you guys see this move? Like, oh man, yeah. I would get so distracted. So we got the Brutal Lorian saying, looking forward to meeting you at Ravel's Con, which we will
Yeah.
touch on a little bit later in the show. Trust me, guys, we definitely want to talk to him about that. We got Josue in the house saying, hello, General. Nilda says, Buffy the Vampire Slayer will forever hold a place in my heart. Still
Yeah.
have the DVD box sets, dude.
Me too. It's up there.
Beautiful. I was, let me see, was it middle school? I think it was high school already when Buffy was going on full on, and I had a notebook where there was Sarah Michelle Gellar. The picture was Sarah Michelle Gellar with Freddie Prinze Jr. In like a gala or something, and I cut out like my face and put it on top of Freddie Prinze Jr. And so I had that like as my book, my notebook cover. And I remember one of my friends, she found out and she would not let it go. Like she was just laughing and she tried to show it to the whole class. It was a whole thing. But yes, I was very, very much into Buffy the Vampire Slayer myself. We got Rob, Zombie Hunter, saying, hey guys, what's going on? Thanks so much for coming in. LeBron saying, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Bro Learning says, I can't hear Transformers the movie without going, you got the touch. Exactly. Absolutely. Hey, LeBron. Bro Lorian says, Rob. Hey, Zilla says, Rob. We got a question here from LeBron saying, Dom, do you still have the red boots from The Good Place?
Oh man, I wish. I saw another question here as well from Millennium Workshop asking what the coolest prop was I saw on set and what did you take home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so terrible at that. I should be so much better. Pardon me. If I know that a show is wrapping or if I know that I'm finishing on a show, I should be so much better about staking out props. I didn't take anything from. I don't have the red boots, unfortunately. I wish. I have big feet. I'm a size 14 feet, and those boots were a size 13 and narrow, so they would have to put talcum powder all in the boots and sort of lube them up, and then I would be in tights to get them in, and then it would take 4 people to get them off. And everyone asked about the boots, and I should have taken the boots.
Yep.
And now I know that they're still on the Universal lot somewhere because I have friends that go and work and they're in the wardrobe department and they'll take photos and they'll send me pictures of the red boots and be like,
no way.
hey, I found your boots.
Yeah.
And I should be like, steal them.
Yes. I was gonna say,
and
put a bounty on them.
There's no way that I could have taken anything from the Star Wars set. They locked
lock and key
down. My biggest regret in life is that when I did Star Trek, they gave me a pair of my teeth to take home to practice talking in because they were pretty thick and I had a low voice and they wanted me to get my tongue used to moving with the prosthetics. And like an idiot, I took them in when I started filming, was like, hey, these did a great job. Thank you so much. And I should have just kept them. And because they had a different set of teeth for the actual day that they had painted fully. And that's one of my biggest regrets in life, that I didn't keep my Star Trek teeth.
Yeah, the prop guy took it and just like in the trash.
I know.
He's like, I don't want them.
Put it in a glass case and put it in a museum somewhere. Who knows?
I was gonna say or put him in a glass case, have him grade it, and then now they're
they're on the evil bay.
Exactly. So Brian says Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings is the best thing Warner Brothers came out with. Dude, those are very solid IPs for sure. LeBron reminding everybody to please go ahead and hit that like button. Let's let the mythical YouTube algorithm know that we are doing a good job here. We got our multiversal moderator Rolando in the house saying, what's up? Welcome in, man. Thank you so much. We got Chris from the Nerd Squadron saying, good evening, Bunker Bunch. Appreciate you coming in, man. Thank you so much. We got Rex in the house, of course. We got Ultra saying hi to everybody. We got the question that Rex posted, which we kind of answered now. We got Rolando saying hi to everybody as well. Brian says, my buddy worked on SPFX on that show. I was working Local 80 on that show. I could have sworn I saw you at Manhattan Beach Studios. Ah, there you go. So for those of you that don't know, Brian is actually in the industry too. He's more like the ninja, in the background that makes things, happen. So yeah, I'm sure you guys have crossed paths at some point. Brian has worked on a
Yeah,
ton of stuff.
maybe.
Um,
Although I was very well behaved. Anytime that I was outdoors, I did wear my robes that,
there
that
you go.
covered my face. I was
Yep.
very, very good.
Smart, very smart. So okay, so Transformers, right? That was kind of like your, let's say, the first thing you really latched onto, right? In terms
Mhm.
of the fandom. So me myself, I like toys. I don't know if you can,
Oh
tell.
yeah. I
But
dig it. I love Lego. I'm waiting on my Hobbit,
there you go.
my Shire Lego box set, which will be
That's
here very
awesome.
soon.
So did you was that something that you were into, from the very beginning as a kid, right? Would you into the Transformers toys?
I mean, my parents didn't have a whole lot of money growing
Mhm.
up, so I had a Rodimus Prime that
Nice.
broke the day that I got it, and it was
Oh,
stuck in sort of Winnebago mode the
yeah.
whole time, and I couldn't get him to separate until I think I'd come back from drama school, and I was like 23, and I was rummaging around in the garage, and I found it, and then like just separated it, and it was like, oh my gosh, it came apart so easily, and now I can transform
No.
him
Yeah.
again. Yeah, I had him. I think I had Soundwave. I remember getting a sort of a bag of hand-me-down toys from one
Mm,
of my older brother's friends, and so I got
nice.
I got a bag of Transformers, but it was all like they all had like broken arms, and
Sure.
Soundwave's chest was broken, and things didn't transform, and there were no instructions for anything. But yeah, I loved that stuff, and now in the spare bedroom, I had a sort of a wall of Transformers
Beautiful.
going on, and uh, my movies. And let me see if I can uh, unplug you for a second, and I'll bring you on a. Let me see if I can bring you on a quick
Oh,
tour.
snap. It's happening, guys.
Um, what have we got? What have we got? We got some Dungeons and Dragons stuff uh,
I'm gonna
Ooh.
blow you up here.
right here
Oh, classic. I
um,
love that.
Yep.
from the '80s show.
Yes,
I got my
love those cartoons.
Voyager model. I got some Gremlins and Thundercats. These are
Gremlin.
like the leftover shelves. But this is the sort of wall of
Oh, look at that.
movies
Wow.
that we
Yep.
got. I got some Thundercat stuff going
Oh,
on
beautiful.
Oh.
in here. Um,
Panther and
more
Chitara.
Thundercat
Love it.
stuff
Yep.
going on over there. Up here, I got some Gremlin stuff.
Hey.
Some Jurassic Park, X-Wing.
Yeah.
Over here, we got some more movie stuff, posters,
Oh,
Lego.
nice.
There, yeah, we got. Oh, what do we got down here? We got a Chucky doll. We got a
Ooh.
Chucky.
The
Gremlin.
gremlin.
Uh,
Yes.
see if we can. I'm scared to go too far from the modem.
Oh,
The
no worries.
router.
Oh,
Oh, look at
look
But
at
that.
yeah,
that. Wow.
Was that Unicron?
it is.
Oh, it
It
is.
is. It is.
Wow.
I'll bring you back because I know that my internet signal doesn't last very long.
Sure, sure.
As
Hey,
I
we
sort of
we
drift away
appreciate
from
you
there.
giving us the.
Yeah, I'm a geek, I'm like I said, I love fandoms, and when people love some I just you know, one of you.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Very much so, guys. So if you guys had any doubts, I think we kind of dispelled them already, but he is definitely one of us.
You're
Yeah.
gonna
Um
have a blast at Rebels Con. Let me
yeah,
just say
by the
that.
way.
Yeah. Just by the way.
So Bro Lauren says, Hot Rod was my favorite G1. Well, maybe tie with Ultra Magnus. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? I gotta be honest with you, Ultra Magnus doesn't get enough love. Um I enjoyed his character in that last trilogy that Netflix did. I
Hmm.
thought they did a little bit better, with Ultra Magnus than the previous show. But I agree, Bro Lauren. I think Ultra Magnus was always pretty cool. And LeBron says those Thundercats are epic. Yeah, man, those are
Yes.
Yeah.
freaking cool. But yeah, I feel you. I was showing this to the chat here a couple days ago. I found this at a flea market, and this is straight from my childhood. But this is the kind of stuff that I had. We didn't really have
Yeah.
we didn't really have money for the name brand
Yeah.
Transformers. So I distinctly remember playing with this one, right? Not exactly this one I'm saying. I
Uh-huh.
don't even know that I ever saw it in package, to be honest. And so I bumped into this over the weekend at a flea market here locally, and I had to pick it up. It was like a memory
Yeah.
unlock. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my Lord, I totally had that. I picked it up. Looking at the back of it, it's actually from '86, which I'm a little bit surprised that it was like
Huh.
that old.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Star Wars, of course, but there are definitely other fandoms.
Yeah, there's
Um,
room for many.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, not so much room here in the house, but yes,
Oh,
room.
I know. I'm running out of so much space. I just had to expand my shelves, and now I have um I have the Rivendell and Barad-dûr
Oh,
Lego Lord
yes.
of the Rings sets, and I have nowhere in the house to put
Yeah.
them, and so they're just sitting in my closet. And
It,
I do have room for the Shire when that comes. I've measured it out and like that can go
perfect.
above the
I was
fish
gonna
tank.
say because
Excellent, very good.
Barad-dûr is surprisingly tall. I've
It's
seen it.
tall, and
Yeah.
Rivendell is surprisingly tall. I thought like, oh great, I'll be able to I can move some stuff around in these shelves, but it's too tall. The width, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, it's
I'll
massive because
figure it out.
it's kind of spread out, right? It's like different like mini buildings, right? Like sort of put together. So
Yeah.
it definitely
Oh, I
spreads
forgot.
out.
I have Titanic up here, which is also
Oh wow.
pretty
That's awesome.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, I love
Um
it.
yeah. So getting I always like to ask, because everybody has a slightly different story. But when you audition for Star Wars,
Mhm.
first of all, did you know it was a Star Wars project?
I did know it was a Star Wars project. I didn't. They give you fake sides.
Yeah,
They give you a fake script beforehand, and then I think everyone that played the pirates just got the same material to
got it.
read, and then the powers that be are like that guy, that girl, um, and yeah, those shows, much like Picard was the Flash like that? I've worked on several shows that
Yep.
it's all redacted and you only see like little snippets of
Sure.
information, and um, it's you get the material, but it's two-factor authentication, and so you have to log in, and then you have to send your email a password, and then you get a code, and then you go to the website and
Nice.
you put that in, and then you get another code, and then you can't print the script from
All
your
right. Yeah.
screen. You have to like just look at it on your screen, and it times out after 15 minutes, and then you can only use it when you're on set, and they print it out, but it's got your name on, and the sides are red, so you can't print or really do anything with it. So
Gotta be honest with you, that sounds way more secure than my bank login. Like
Yeah.
that's
it's pretty secure, and then you walk around the lot with your cloaks on. But what a treat to be a
oh,
part of that universe, and the first time that the credits came up and it was my name in Star Wars
right.
font, and I'm like, it's just so exciting. It's exciting.
Oh, absolutely. So do you remember how many times you had to audition?
Oh, just the once,
Really? Okay.
it used to be um, before COVID, before everything went to self tapes, and earlier on in your career, it used to be that you would go for something called a pre-read,
Right.
where if the casting director had never met you before, you would go in and you would do the scene for them, and then they would say, "Oh, great, okay, I can bring you to producers," and then you would go for a callback, and that was the general rule of thumb if you were doing a small part. It's a little different if you're doing a bigger role, or
Sure.
what used to be testing for network. Then you might
Mm,
go through a series of auditions. I auditioned for a show called Nosferatu, which was on AMC, and I network tested for that. And I think I auditioned 4 times
wow.
for that, 4 or 5 times for that. But now that everything has gone to self tape, usually it's just an audition and you get the role. It's gone all the way of callbacks. I did a self tape for Doctor Death, and then I had a producer session with showrunner and the director of the first 2 episodes of that. But otherwise, no, it's
Wow.
it's generally pretty streamlined. I don't know what the system is for new actors coming into
Sure.
the industry now, whether they still have to go through that self tape and then meet the producers, meet the directors. But I feel like I've been doing this for 20 years now, so I know a lot of the casting directors already, and they know and trust me to be able to say, hey, Dominic's reliable, he'll come in, he'll do the scene, he'll learn the lines, he'll make strong choices. So yeah, I don't know what it's like coming into the industry now.
Yeah. So so you get up on set, right? You go through your fitting, through makeup, all of that, process. How hard was it to keep it all under wraps, for for
I'm pretty good, my fiance had to know, because I'd be like, hey, I'm getting up at 2:00 in the morning and I'm disappearing. So I can't be like, I'm not going anywhere. What are you talking about? You're crazy. So, obviously my nearest and dearest have to know, and my team, but I'm generally very good about locking it down and not talking about things until I'm explicitly given the go ahead, or if a trailer comes out and I'm featured in the trailer, then it's like, well, I'm in the trailer, so hey, I can talk about it. I'm in the show. Or if there's if there's a press release for a show, there's a show coming out later this year on Amazon called Criminal. But they did a press release when the casting was announced. So it's like, okay, yeah, well, I can talk about that because it's public knowledge.
It's exactly.
And then this morning I got the go ahead that I could talk about. I just did some voiceover work for a Game of Thrones game called King's Road.
I just saw that on your Instagram. Yes.
Yeah. So I got the email this morning, be like, hey, you got the go ahead. You can talk about it now.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, it varies. I'm just using better judgment, knowing the kind of show that it is. It also determines sort of what you can and can't talk about. Like if it was, Picard or Star Wars, then I'd be like, better not talk about that. But if it's a network procedural, I'm like, hey, I'm on NCIS. It's been going for 22 seasons. Like, everyone's on NCIS. No shade to NCIS. Those people, I love those people and that casting team and I love all those people. So I didn't want to make it sound like I was throwing shade.
No, but it's I guess it's a comparison between a highly established property that people know it exists. People know there's something new coming out every period of time, as opposed to projects that. Honestly, some of these projects we don't even know if they're coming out like until very close to release time. But by that point, obviously, you've done the work a year or sometimes even 2 years, prior, right? So it's been a while.
I'm there's a video game coming out in June 10th, I think, Mind's Eye. And I've been working on that since 2021. I've been working on that for 4 years. I did my last session in February. So just some little additional voiceover stuff, but that's a 4-year process where you go in and you're doing mocap and there are additional missions that are added to the game, or different cutscenes that come in, or alternative outcomes for the character, and it's, you're right, it can be years before. Star Wars was a long time before. Skeleton Crew we shot in 2022, and it took a long old time for that to come through.
Very much so. It's one of those things that you're like, oof, I just kind of keep holding until they finally release it, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm sure you had plenty of work to keep you busy and stuff, but I would be just like itching at every opportunity, at every Thanksgiving, with the family. I'm like, oh, I could win. I could win the bragging race this year.
My family doesn't my family doesn't care about the stuff that I work on. You know, they're not Star Wars fans, and
Right.
they're not Star Trek fans, and so you know, me sitting at the dinner table will be like, oh, yeah, I'm doing Star Trek. They'll be like, oh, that's nice.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
pass
That's
this?
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious though. We got Chris from the Man Collect saying, "Hey everyone," which by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he is sporting a new logo for his channel. So congrats on that. Looking very, very cool. Um, Rex saying, "That's how I would be if I saw a prop I made in a movie. That's my dream right there." Absolutely. I mean, imagine to see yourself, up there. Um, know all the hard work that went into it. That's got to be amazing. Real Life's Perplexity Show says, "Hey, General Kenobi fam, Dom, loved you in Supernatural, The Flash, and Santa Clarita Diet." There you go. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rex saying, "Dom, just followed you. Appreciate you, Rex."
Oh, thank you.
Also, guys, everybody that just joined, the links are in the description of this video right now. So if you just want to expand that description section, you should be able to just click on the links and go ahead and follow Dom. Ultra
I
saying
did have
hi
one
to Man
question
Collect.
also.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Off of
Please.
Instagram. So on Star Trek, they wanted to know, did you get any one-on-one time with Patrick Stewart?
I did. Bless him. That honestly, um, Star Trek is one of the pinnacles of my career. Even though it was one episode, it was directed by Jonathan Frakes, who is
Oh,
he's number one.
that's my number one
Yeah,
right there.
he's Commander William Riker.
Yeah.
And so he was directing the episode, and he was very, very nice. And I anytime I'm on set, if I feel like, oh yeah, this is a fun set, I ask if I can go and sit in Video Village, which is where all the monitors and
Mhm.
everyone watches the performances are. So I asked if I could watch. And what was really lovely was in between every take, sometimes you work on sets and the actors will be like, I'm going to be in my trailer. And on this set, Jonathan Frakes and Patrick Stewart would just sit down in the booth of this sort of sci-fi nightclub, and they would just reminisce about old stories. And Patrick Stewart would be like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from a town called Stoke-on-Trent." Like, Stoke-on-Trent. I performed at the Old Vic Theatre in Stoke-on-Trent in 1979.
Oh Lord,
I did Hamlet. Um, so amazing. And then
that's
Jerry
incredible.
Ryan was there as well. And um, I love Star Trek Voyager. So it was just this perfect perfect 7 days of being on that show that I grew up with as a kid. It was wonderful, top to tail. And I'm easy to please. I love being on set, and I love working. I love doing different things and meeting new people, and also what I love about those shows, about Star Trek, Star Wars, Magicians, anything where there's practical effects, or people love working on them. The people that work on them love working on them. They love the work that they do, the prosthetic work, the costume work. It's people that love what they do. Palm Royale is an Apple show that I'm on right now, and the costumes and the sets are so vibrant and wonderful. Um, and going back to Supernatural, that was directed by my episode was directed by Amanda Tapping, who was on Stargate
Target
SG-1, and so I
SG1.
was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Oh,
Exactly.
okay, I'm not gonna fangirl out."
Dom, you and I are gonna chat a lot at RebelsCon. Let me just tell you,
Okay,
because
good.
you are a man after my own heart. So, yeah, literally every show you've said, I'm like, dude, yeah, I love that.
Yep, right there with
Yeah.
them.
But I did want to, speaking of, because I know it's been on people's mind. I do want to talk about this today here. So you are going to be, making your first convention
Yeah.
appearance at RebelsCon 2025, which, in case you guys
Mhm.
don't remember, is happening in Frisco, Texas, August 8th through the 10th of this year. You best believe we're going to be there. We were actually privileged enough to be the ones to announce Dominic, participation here on the channel, if you remember, a few weeks back. And so we're super happy about this. But I wanted to ask you, you being a fan of a lot of this stuff, you've been to conventions right before as an attendee?
Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm ready.
I've been to the Transformers Con here at the Burbank Marriott hotel, and I go there every year. Um, but that's a kind of a small
Hmm.
convention. I oh gosh, sometimes in large crowds, I have sort of anxiety and
Sure.
panic attacks. And so I go and I go around the ballroom and the artist alley and all the booths. And after about an hour, I have to be like, okay, got a timeout. I got to go stand outside. I got to
Right.
like have some space for a second, and then I'll go back in. Um, I've never been to a big Comic
Hmm.
Con. I've never been to San Diego Comic Con. I've never been to like Dragon Con, any of these biggies, um, because I'm anxious and I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm getting overwhelmed. So I think I'll be okay sitting behind a desk, and I've sort of got
Right.
my own space. Um, I'm anxious. I'm excited. I'm excited, and I'm anxious. I'm excited, and I'm anxious.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
I've heard that it's lovely. I've heard that
Yes. I was just gonna
the
say.
the people running it are wonderful, and I've heard
Yeah.
that the attendees are wonderful. And fandoms are so kind and so generous. The Our Flag Means Death fandom. I did one episode of Our Flag Means Death, and oh boy, those people took me under their wing. They're so kind and so generous and so loving. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Absolutely. And now, to be fair, San Diego Comic Con, is daunting for anybody. Like, I don't care how
Oh,
many you've done. It's a beast, right? So,
yeah,
I've never gone either, and I'm sure I wouldn't do too hot in those crowds because it's a lot. Okay.
yeah.
It-
And it's not just that. Like, it's theme parks. It's anywhere
sure.
that's busy. If we go watch a concert at the Hollywood Bowl, I'm the guy that's like, all right, let's let
Yes.
these 20,000 people stand up and walk
And walk
out,
away.
and
Yes.
then
Yeah.
we can go. And my fiance runs the other way. He's like, no, let's go before the encore, and then we'll beat the crowds.
Well, yeah.
Um, yeah, very very different.
Yeah,
It works.
absolutely. But hey, some balance, right? LeBron dropping our guest for tonight. That's his Instagram right there. So, chat, all you got to do is click on it and go ahead and give him a follow. Sorry, I was lacking, says LeBron. Now you're good. We got a good friend, Archer, the captain of the nerd affiliated squadron, saying, hey, everyone. Welcome, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. Rex from Millennium Workshop asks, any plans on coming to Ohio?
Is that for me? Any
Right.
plans for coming to Ohio? Oh gosh, have I been to Ohio? I don't know if I've been to Ohio at all. In 2001, I worked at a summer camp in Michigan, uh, in a township called Ortonville, and I worked there over summer. And then I flew to LA and then drove back across to New York. But I went across sort of the northern states and up through the Badlands and the Dakotas and Wyoming. And I don't think I did come down into Ohio. I have a
Right.
friend. I have a good friend from Ohio though, so I should come. I should come.
There you go. Yeah.
I
Maybe.
should, and I will
There you go.
one day. I don't have a date.
Yeah. So Rex says, what you need is your blaster from Skeleton Crew.
I
So
do.
to put it into context, Rex is a very talented prop maker. So
Ah,
he could absolutely, one, make it, two, make it look exactly like the one in the show.
Mhm.
He created this. Well, he's done a lot of things, but what I was going to say is specifically, people remember him a lot during last year's Acolyte show because as soon as the stranger came out in that helmet, he made
mm,
it like 3 days later, and it was
wow.
like spot on. It was
Was it
insane.
3
With
days or the next day? Because I think it
so
was so fast.
he announced it the next day, right? But like
Yeah.
the actual, I think, finished product,
Yeah,
painted and
physical.
everything, was about like 3 days later. Um, and that's back when there was like three pictures of the guy. Like, so I don't know how he
Mm,
pulled off, dimensions and like the color scheme and all of that. But it was ridiculous. Later on, Hasbro announces their official right helmet for the stranger, and everybody was like, "Dude, yeah, don't you got to see Rex's first,"
Yeah.
like so. Yeah, Rex does amazing work. He's very very talented, And yeah, so that's where he's coming from, on his comment about your blaster. We got Bryant with the question, says, Dom, what's your favorite thing from Crafty during Skeleton Crew?
Oh, okay. Let's talk about this. Um, the thing is, when you are doing prosthetic work, when you're in the makeup and you're in this costume, that is so hard to put on and off. Like it takes an extra person to help you put all this stuff on. It takes 3 people to work the belt. And then you've got this prosthetic stuff, and so you've got the teeth in, and then you've got this sort of intricate stuff around your lips. Any show like that, Star Wars, Star Trek, Magicians, Rebel Moon, I'm very careful about what I eat or drink for the day, because I don't want to be having bathroom breaks and having to be sort of
Sure.
taking half an hour to get out of wardrobe and then go to the bathroom and then half an hour to put it on, especially for the Magicians when I'm sort of in. They sort of glue these furry
Right.
legs onto my
Right.
body, and so that becomes a whole degluing process. So very good for my diet. When I'm doing those kind of shows, I don't actually eat a lot of stuff at Crafty. Um, I'll make sure I have a meal before I go. I'm very careful about what I eat the day before. And then when I wrap, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
it's
there you
time
go.
to eat.
Let's go.
And so ask those people, ask Doug Jones, who is in that makeup all the time, for the run of a film, how he does
Yeah.
it. Um, it's very hard to, because I'm conscientious of the makeup people too. I don't want to go to Scott and Ian and be like, hey, I just had 5 Milano cookies and I got all stuff stuck in my silicone SFX makeup.
Right.
Um, or any liquid that would make the glue come undone. So I'm very careful with Crafty. But if I'm not in makeup, then Milano cookies from Crafty, sure, why not?
There you go. All right, that's awesome, man.
No excessive chewing to break up the makeup, right? So you got to be
Yeah,
careful with what you're putting.
I'm just very careful in general. Not when I'm acting, because then it just is what it is. But yeah, I'm very mindful. Sometimes I don't think we did on Star Wars, but certainly on the Magicians, they have cooling tents where you're just in your own tent and they just blast cool air
Hmm.
in there so that the makeup doesn't drip. You're not sweating underneath the latex and nothing's peeling away.
Right. Interesting. So I want to ask you something, and
Mm.
you might not be able to answer, fully, but I still want to ask.
Oh.
So, out of
Oh.
all the work that you've done, right? Um, could you tell us what was your favorite thing that you did that didn't see the light of day? You know,
Oh, huh. My favorite thing I've done that didn't see the light of day. Like, you mean
so for
something that I something that I actually filmed that never got released, or
right.
scenes that we did that never got released?
Yeah, well, I was talking about, maybe a property or a show, right? That you were
Hmm.
a part of, and you were like, you know what, this is really cool. I like the character, I like the story, the overall show, and maybe it didn't get picked up, or the pilot, things like that.
Um, sure. Oh gosh. I mean, it happens all the time. My very, 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 very first job out of drama school was Batman Begins, and
Right.
I went into audition, and I went into audition as an Arkham inmate, and it was a scene. I was going to have a knife, and I think I was going to be threatening Jack Gleason. So I was very excited. My first job. I auditioned for it on the day that I graduated drama school,
Oh
and then
my.
I went to film. They had these huge hangars that they were filming, and they built the Narrows in. And then one of the wardrobe people was like, "Hey, you know what? You look so young and fresh. I don't believe that people would think you come out of Arkham. So let's make you a cop
Cop.
instead. I'm
Yeah.
going to call that through." So I was like, "Oh, my lines." Um, and then I got turned into Narrow's cop,
Right.
and then I can see myself in the smoke and the Narrows, but I never made it on screen. But luckily I still get residual checks because my name is in the credits.
There you go. Hey,
I
that's
did
good.
a pilot, gosh, a long time ago, 8 years ago now. They were going to do a TV series of LA Confidential, and I was going to play a character called Sid Hudgens, who Danny DeVito plays in the film version.
Right.
And so I was so excited about that because it was dirty and it was gritty. It was like this character that I don't really get a chance to play a
Mm-hmm.
lot. And that didn't get picked up. That was CBS. And that didn't get picked up, which I was sad about. I worked on a show called Goliath. Was it the second season of Goliath? And I was gonna be Billy Bob Thornton's therapist for the season.
Wow.
And we shot 4 episodes,
Wow.
and then they pulled the plug and said, nope, we're changing showrunners and we don't want the show to go in this direction. And so the whole thing got rewritten, and then
Dang.
it went in a completely different direction. And so he didn't have a therapist anymore.
Right.
But that was fun. Again, something I hadn't really had a chance to do, but that was a fun, you never know in this business, even if
Of
you
course.
do film something, with the Wile E. Coyote film that's just sort of
Mm-hmm.
been through the ringer with Warner Brothers right now and HBO, and now is getting a release
Yes.
later this year, I think. But shows can disappear, shows can be pulled off streaming, things can you can film something and not see the light of day. You can film something and have your scenes cut out of it.
Yeah.
I did an episode of the 90210 reboot way back now, probably 2011, 12. And I had a little role on that, and it got cut. But the production sent me a very nice letter to say, like, hey, we're so sorry. You're playing a character that works at a real. I was a character that worked at Jersey Mike's, which is a sub sandwich
Mm-hmm.
shop in LA. And my character was kind of an asshole, and then it just didn't make clearance, and they were like, hey, we don't want our company represented in this
Gotcha.
way where there's an asshole working for the company. And
Yeah.
so you never know what's gonna
Yeah.
make it or not make it.
Yeah. But hey, it makes for a hell of a stories, right? Sometimes. Right?
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. And
there
like
was
you said,
there was a scene in Skeleton Crew in the very last episode. Beef went through Neil's house looking for
Mhm.
Neil's family before they take them all out onto the street and parade them through the street. But it was a nice little maybe minute and a half scene of sort of intimidating them and Neil's family cowering behind this table. And so it was sad that didn't make
Sure. Yeah.
that last episode, because it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a little moment with Neil's family. But it happens,
Right.
for timing and all sorts of reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, hopefully, once we get, the special editions, we'll get, some of the
Yeah, that's
some of
right.
the added
Beef
bonus
and Neil's
features.
Dad Showdown.
Exactly. There you go. So yeah, and I wanted to tell you also that I think you're gonna have a blast at Rebels Comic Con. It is a very very, how can I say it, sort of like an intimate feeling, at that convention. It's like
Mhm.
everybody's friends, even if you haven't met them. It's I know it's a little bit weird to describe,
No, yeah, I love it.
but the vibe is really good. um and us Star Wars fans can be a little bit too much sometimes, but I will
There's no
say
such thing.
but I will say that for the most part, we Mike and I have actually talked to some people that the first show, right, last year, the first Rebels Comic-Con was their first ever show, right, very much like yourself for this year, and they all seem to have a positive experience, right, just that interaction with the fans. Everybody was, of course, very respectful. They're all happy to get to know you, and I think you also, again, just being a fan yourself, right? I think you shouldn't have any problems, and I think people are going to relate, to how real you are, in the sense of, you share the love for this stuff just as we do.
Yeah.
So I hope that you have a great show. Again, Mike and I will be there. Many actually here in the chat will be there at the show as well. So I think you're gonna have a good time. I think you're gonna like it, which I hope is the case, because I think a lot of us fans will love to see you, in other shows, participating. I can't speak to other shows, right? I don't know, we don't know that much of how they're put together for the most part. People of course are try to be respectful and things like that. But we do know the guys at Rebels Comic Con, and they're a bunch of geeks just like us, right? So
Good.
they're
Yep.
trying to do the best, by the fans and by the talent. And I think you're gonna have, a great time. So we are very, very much looking forward to that. Let me catch up here with the chat real quick. So Rex saying, thanks bro, means a lot. Hey man, nothing but the truth, man. You do great work. um LeBron again, did you get to get anything from the magicians?
I didn't. I should have. You know what I kept from the magicians? That was the first time that I got to go up and work in Vancouver. I'm based in Los Angeles, and magician shot in Vancouver. And my first trip up to Vancouver was where I met my fiance. So I got to keep my fiance.
Hey, there you go.
Hey,
That's quite a souvenir
that's a
right
good
there.
souvenir. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good one.
souvenir. Someone did make me. I don't collect. Hold on, let me show you. Walk with me.
Sure.
I did get to keep. Someone did make me a Funko Pop of
No
a
way.
magician's character. A fan, which is
Oh,
pretty
nice.
that is rich.
So yeah, that's really fun. That's the only thing I should have. Again, I'm very respectful. I should have stolen my horns or my hooves or something, or
Right.
my rings. Yeah, I need to be better about stealing things from sets. Is what I'm taking away from this call.
Exactly. I was gonna say,
Just a little
see,
bit. Just a
we're
little.
we're a good influence, right? I mean,
What am
um,
I gonna steal from Rebel Scum Con? Nothing. I'm not-
there you go. Yeah.
no.
Oh, trust me. Fans will give you, swag, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um, us, we'll probably have a few stickers and a couple of patches,
Oh,
for
I'll
you.
take some
Just
stickers.
FYI. So you shouldn't walk away empty-handed. Bro Learn says, interesting question. Yeah, man. I'm always curious, with people like Dom here that have worked on so many different projects, right? Through a couple of decades at this point, right? There's always very interesting stuff to know that what could have been, right? Like, there's so many stories like his, right? And so many cool ideas or cool shows that, for whatever reason never really got, they never really made it to us, right? To the consumers. So I always like to, sort of ask him like, hey, if you can talk about it, right, what would have been, one of those. We got Edson joining us saying this is the way. Absolutely, brother. And I know we're gonna see you at RebelsCom as well. We got Juan saying hello there, Bunker Bunch. Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So Mike, any last questions that you got? I know we've kept Don here quite a bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you're
got
good, you're good.
one. I got
Let's
one
go.
that was pretty interesting. So this one kind of goes into a darker place.
Oh my gosh.
It's a
I'm
real
ready, I'm
dark
ready.
character that you portrayed. So the question was getting into the mindset of something historical, such as John Wayne Gacy.
Oh yes.
How did you prep yourself for that one? Because that is a big role to portray right there.
Well, okay. I'll preface this by saying I am not an actor that stays in character for the whole
Mhm.
day, the whole shoot. I don't find it, for me, everyone's going to have their process. It's going to be different if, you're a series regular and you're in that mindset for the run of a show or for the run of a film. For me, I was just coming in for one episode. And again, for me personally, I like lighthearted, fun, safe set environments because I think that's where people do their best work. But I'm certainly not gonna portray John Wayne Gacy and then go to craft service and be like, "Give me a sandwich or I'll stab you," because that doesn't service anyone. Whether that's coming from a theater trained background where you do productions and your ensemble and you're playing 6 different characters throughout the show, and you're running on stage and you make a big character and you come off and you change character and then you come on as someone else, and just no, when those cameras cut, I'm Dominic. I'm Dominic, and I don't carry that around with me. And in terms of preparation, it I study a lot. I do a lot of research. I watch all the videos that I could get my hands on in terms of finding his cadence and his vocals and his accent, and then hair and makeup do their thing, and the camera department do their thing, and lighting, and the gaffers and grips and director to sort of make it a cohesive whole. But no, I can't carry that stuff around
Yeah.
with me, and I don't think it's fair on other actors to sort of imprint your process. If people have that process, I give them their space and whatever they need to do, but I don't let it impinge on what I'm doing.
Got it. So Rex is like, and you didn't keep the clown nose. Come on.
Didn't, but also on that show in particular, portraying John Wayne Gacy and then being in that clown costume, I was very cognizant about. I think the wardrobe department took a picture of me for continuity in that suit, and then hair and makeup took pictures in a clown makeup. But I was also very cognizant on that show to not take pictures behind scenes, because I didn't want to glamorize that makeup, that story in any way. And so for that show in particular, I sort of pulled my foot off the throttle in terms of publicizing. I had a wonderful time on the show, and it was a dark and complex character to explore, but I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm playing John Wayne Gacy, because then I think that becomes disrespectful to victims and families. And so
I think that's kind of what they were kind of alluding to in the question. It was like, this is such a darker place, like, and seeing your work kind of prior to that, you didn't really kind of go in that direction. So it's like a total 180 for you to go in that direction. And like, to me, the way I kind of read that question is like, this is like way out of the norm for you. So how did it just like happen for you? And like, you kind of explained it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I love the character that I'm playing in Criminal is pretty dark too. That's coming out later this year on Amazon. I love playing those kind of characters. I think it's very different if it's a fictional character. If it's a fictional world, if it's make believe, it's very different. But for that show in particular, I was like pull back a little. But yeah, I love I'm very fortunate that I've never been typecast in anything. I'm very fortunate that I've been able to go from project to project to project to project and do something a little bit different, or a different voice, or different cadence, or different physicality and accents and dialects. So I'm grateful that I can go and do John Wayne Gacy, and then go and do Palm Royale, and then go and do Supernatural, and then go and do Star Wars, and then go and do Star Trek, and Good Place, and just sort of thread that needle. I'm very lucky.
Very much so. So before we leave for tonight, any projects that you want to showcase? We've talked about a couple of video games like Mind's Eye and Game of Thrones, where you are a part of it. You have the Criminal show coming out later on this year on Prime Video. Anything else that we could expect here in the future?
Season 2 of Palm Royale, I guess, will be out later this year. I finished that in February, and then I don't think I've been working on an animated series, which I'm not allowed to talk about yet, but a fun animated show, which is I did an animated show a couple of years ago, which, coming back to your question, never made it to air. So this now will be my first animated series.
Interesting.
That I'll be a part of, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, of course.
Very nice.
Yeah, and we're very excited, to see you
On Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Ready. I am ready. And
I'm ready too. That's if anyone just joined this show, I'm not in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I would like to be on Buffy the
he
Vampire
will
Slayer.
be. Just
Someone,
like he's
anyone joining this chat would have been like, "Oh my gosh, it's been announced."
exactly.
That's not an announcement.
Yeah. Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. We're putting it into the universe.
Exactly. I was just gonna say. But we will definitely see you sometime, and I'm sure of it, in Lord of the Rings. So
That's the spirit.
mark my words. But we're very much looking forward to seeing you in person, of course, as we mentioned. Rebels Comic-Con later on this year, August 8th through the 10th in Frisco, Texas. And guys, in case you don't remember, tickets are still available, of course, but also you can also pre-purchase your photo ops, including Dominic here. So if you want to secure your spot, go ahead, check it out at the Rebels Comic-Con website, so you guys can plan out your pictures. You'll get your vouchers and everything, so you don't have to be scrambling once you're at the show. So as you can see, they got quite the amount of guests.
Yeah, look at all these people.
They just announced Shannon McRandall, by the way, a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who was the model to portray live action Mara Jade in all of the publicity, right? Yeah, exactly. So we got quite a bit. All right, we got quite the roster. Once again, of course, Dominic, will be at the show. We're very much looking forward to it. Hanging out with you in person. Like I said, hopefully you get to have a great show, a great experience. This being your first con. And last thing, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here in the bunker. This was super fun. I know that we could keep talking about just we barely scratched the surface of your body of work, which is again just flat out impressive. And I cannot wait, to see what you do next. Hopefully in Star Wars again. Hint.
Yeah, sure, I'll take it. Is this an offer of employment? I'll take it. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. This has been a real pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody in August at Rebel ScumCon. And yeah, what a treat. I always love talking shop and talking nerd stuff anytime.
Absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate it. So last few comments here. Brother Lawrence says, "You're a chameleon, Dom." Yes. Very much so. Dom for Tom Bombadil. Oh, there you go.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah. Wait, isn't it? I think it's already cast on Rings of Power.
Oh yeah,
they already. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they already kind of showed him. That's right. Yeah. Thanks for the fun, says Actually Joe Fix. Janine joining us says, "Just got home, was listening in the car." Hey, we appreciate you, Janine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Juan saying, "Amazing guest." Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian says, "Yeah, you're LA based. I hope to see you around the studio soon." I'm sure you will,
yes,
man.
Please say hello. Say hello.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that is gonna do it here for this episode of The High Ground, guys. Next week is probably gonna be a little bit different, just because, like I said, we got some prepping to do before we leave for Japan. So we will do our best to still have a show next week. It probably won't be on Wednesday because, like I said, Wednesday I'm having a full-on anxiety attack. Because we leave on Thursday morning. So Wednesday I'm gonna be running around like nobody's business. So we will let you know, guys, but also keep in touch with us over on Instagram with Mike at the Dad Vader, with us at general.kenobis.bunker. We're also on TikTok. Yes, it's legal again. General_Kenobis_bunker. We are also on Threads at general.kenobis.bunker. So make sure you follow us on social media to stay up to date when we go live, when we drop a new video, when we are leaving the country coming up soon. So yes, thank you again to everybody that joined. Thank you, Bunker Bunch. We always appreciate you turn up. And one last time, thank you to our amazing guest, and we will see you soon. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.